Have you ever stopped to think what you would do if your heart suddenly started to fail and you were completely alone? No one around, no doctor, no phone in your hand yet, just you. A racing heart and fear creeping in with every passing second. It's a nightmare scenario that unfortunately plays out for thousands of people every year. And here's the truth. In the event of a heart attack, every minute matters. Delay can be deadly. But don't panic. This video could give you the edge that might just save your life. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 crucial no-nonsense actions to take if a heart attack strikes and there's no one else to help. No fancy gadgets, no white coat required, just common sense and smart decisions that anyone can make even in the most terrifying circumstances. And trust me, the final tips in this video are the ones most people never think of. But they could be your lifeline when it matters most. Before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who might one day need it. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now, then tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of our weekly health insights. If you're still with me by the end, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're learning. And if you think we can do better, type 0 and tell us how. We're always improving for you. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the most vital step of all. Learning to spot the first signs before things spiral out of control. Recognizing what's happening in those initial moments is your best shot at surviving. The media loves to dramatize heart attacks. Someone grabs their chest, gasps for air, and collapses. But in real life, it's often more subtle, more silent, and way more dangerous because of that. Many heart attacks start with symptoms so mild you'd think it's just a bad day. Some gas or maybe stress, a strange pressure in the chest, an odd ache in the arm, fatigue that just won't go away. That's exactly why people delay action. And that delay can cost lives. So, what should you watch for? Start with your chest. That's where it often begins. But not with sharp pain. Think of a crushing weight pressing down slowly and steadily. Some describe it as a squeezing, like a tight band tightening across the chest. It might come in waves, tricking you into thinking it's fading. But if it lingers or returns repeatedly, it's not something to ignore, and it doesn't stop at the chest. A heart attack can show up in places you wouldn't expect, like pain radiating through your left arm or even your right. It can spread into your shoulders, creep up into your jaw, or press like a weight between your shoulder blades. Women and older adults often report pain in their upper back or abdomen instead of the chest. And yes, that includes a heavy, bloated feeling that feels more like indigestion than anything heart-related. Another red flag, shortness of breath, especially if you haven't moved. If just sitting still leaves you gasping like you've run upstairs, something's off. Add to that lightheadedness, a cold sweat, nausea, or even an unshakable sense that something is wrong deep inside. You've got every reason to take action. Let me give you a real example. Richard, a 74-year-old retired electrician, was sipping coffee at his kitchen table when he noticed a strange tightness creeping under his collarbone. It wasn't painful, just off. Then he noticed his hands sweating and his breath shortening. Most people would have brushed it off, but Richard had read about these kinds of signs before. He trusted his instincts and made the call. That decision likely saved his life. See, the body whispers before it screams. Those early signs are like the first drops before a storm. Easy to miss, but urgent if you know what to look for. If you wait for the big moment to confirm something's wrong, you might be too late. Once oxygen stops reaching the heart muscle, damage happens fast and some of it can't be undone. So, here's your takeaway. If you ever feel a strange mix of chest pressure, unexplained breathlessness, fatigue that makes no sense, or pain in places like your jaw, shoulder, or stomach, stop everything. Do not power through it. Do not assume it will go away. Take it seriously, even if you're unsure. Act like your life depends on it because it just might. And especially if you have risk factors like high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, diabetes, a history of smoking, or a family history of heart problems. You need to stay extra alert. Talk to your doctor and make sure you know the warning signs before they become a real threat. Because the ability to catch the quiet signs early, that's your first line of defense and the most powerful tool you've got. If you're still here and this information is resonating with you, drop a 1 in the comments. That tells me you're still engaged, and it helps us reach more people who need to hear this. Now, let's move to the next critical step. What to do the very second you suspect something's wrong. As soon as you feel those warning signs kicking in, no matter how mild or uncertain, your next move must be immediate. Call emergency services. Wherever you live, whether it's 911 or your local equivalent, you need to get that call out right away. Do not wait to see if it gets worse. Do not call your friend or your doctor first. And absolutely do not try to drive yourself to the hospital. Because when blood stops flowing to part of your heart, time is everything. The longer that area is starved of oxygen, the more heart muscle dies and the lower your chances of a full recovery. Every minute counts. Calling emergency responders is not just about getting a ride. You're activating a rapid medical response system. These professionals bring life-saving tools right to your door. Oxygen, medications like aspirin or nitroglycerin, even defibrillators if your heart suddenly stops. And unlike a friend or neighbor, they can start treatment before you even leave your home. Driving yourself is risky. You might think you'll make it, but symptoms can escalate fast. If you pass out behind the wheel, you're putting yourself and everyone else in danger. Even asking a family member to drive you delays critical care. EMS teams don't just transport you. They start stabilizing you from the moment they arrive and alert the hospital en route so the cardiac team is ready when you get there. That can shave off precious minutes that might otherwise be lost in triage. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 78, lives alone, and one evening felt an odd ache in her shoulder. A few minutes later, she felt nauseous and broke into a cold sweat. Her first instinct was to call her son. But she remembered something a nurse once told her: call 911 first. Talk to family after. That advice may have saved her life. By the time the ambulance reached her, her chest was tightening and she could hardly breathe, but because she acted fast, EMS arrived in time to stabilize her with oxygen and medication before things got worse. So remember, hesitation can be deadly. If there's any doubt in your mind that something serious is happening, don't wait. Make the call. Get help on the way. Because when your heart's in trouble, seconds aren't just seconds. They're the difference between survival and tragedy. That single phone call made instantly and without hesitation was the pivotal moment that stood between survival and tragedy. And here's something critical to remember. You don't need 100% certainty to justify dialing emergency services. The professionals on the other end, dispatchers and paramedics, are trained specifically to assess unclear situations. They would much rather respond to a false alarm than miss the opportunity to save a life. Seconds matter more than certainty. If your symptoms make it difficult to speak clearly or quickly, don't worry. Modern smartphones are equipped with emergency features that can be activated even when the screen is locked. Whether it's an iPhone or Android, most allow for a few quick taps to call for help without needing a passcode. Take a moment today to learn how your phone's emergency system works. It's one of those little things that could make a huge difference, especially if you live alone or have a known heart condition. Some phones also let you store essential health information like your medical conditions, allergies, or medications that first responders can see even without unlocking the device. This small act of preparedness can give paramedics the head start they need to give you the right care right away. Want to be even more prepared? Create a visible, easily accessible list of emergency contacts, medications, and any chronic conditions. Post it in a spot paramedics are trained to check, like the side of your refrigerator, near your front door, or taped to your nightstand. If you live in an apartment, a building with a buzzer, or a gated community, make sure you've figured out how emergency services will get to you. Provide clear instructions when you call and, if possible, ask a neighbor in advance if they'd be willing to assist in an emergency. Ultimately, calling for help is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage and self-respect. It tells your body, I hear you and I'm not going to ignore the warning. Don't second-guess yourself. Don't wait for things to get worse before acting. Trust your instincts. That first call can be the moment that changes everything. Now, let's talk about the next move. One that's surprisingly simple, widely available, and scientifically backed to save lives. Chewing aspirin. After you've called emergency services, the next most important thing you can do, if you're not allergic and haven't been told by a doctor to avoid it, is reach for a plain, uncoated aspirin tablet and chew it slowly. Not swallow it, not crush it and mix it in water. Just chew it thoroughly and let it absorb while you sit calmly and wait for help. Why chewing? Because aspirin works as a fast-acting blood thinner, and time is everything. Heart attacks are usually caused by a clot that blocks one of the arteries feeding your heart muscle with oxygen-rich blood. That blockage causes damage, sometimes irreversible. But aspirin can help slow that clot's growth and, in some cases, even reduce its size temporarily. That means more oxygen can keep flowing where it's needed most, giving your heart a fighting chance until the paramedics arrive. Chewing breaks the tablet into smaller particles, allowing it to dissolve faster and begin working more quickly. The active ingredient, acetylsalicylic acid, enters your bloodstream much faster this way than if you swallowed it whole. Studies show that blood-thinning effects can begin within minutes after chewing. Now, not all aspirin is created equal in this moment. If possible, use a regular uncoated, immediate-release aspirin. 325 milligrams is ideal. Enteric-coated or delayed-release versions are designed to go easy on your stomach, but they take longer to activate. If that's all you have, chew it anyway. In a life-or-death moment, fast absorption matters more than stomach comfort. Worried about taking it on an empty stomach? Normally, that's a valid concern. But in a heart attack scenario, the priority is saving heart tissue, not avoiding a little nausea. The risk of gastrointestinal irritation is real, but small compared to the risk of losing precious minutes of blood flow to your heart. Let's make this practical. Keep aspirin in places you can reach fast. Your nightstand, the bathroom cabinet, your car's glove box, your wallet, your purse. Make sure family members know where it is, especially if they live with you or check in on you often. And check expiration dates from time to time. Expired aspirin won't hurt you, but it might not work as effectively. Take Joe, for example, a 72-year-old retired teacher. One morning, he felt a deep pressure spread from his chest to his jaw. He felt a wave of panic building but remembered his doctor's advice. He had aspirin stored in a drawer near his kitchen table. He grabbed it, chewed one, and waited calmly for help. His doctor later told him that single act, the decision to chew aspirin without hesitation, likely reduced the severity of the damage to his heart. Joe walked out of the hospital a week later. Not everyone gets that chance. Emergency medical teams around the world recommend this as part of the standard protocol for suspected heart attacks. This isn't a life hack. It's a proven, powerful step you can take on your own that buys you time and gives professionals something to work with when they arrive. Still with me? Type 2 in the comments if this video has been helpful so far and you've made it to this part. Your feedback keeps us going and helps us reach more people with life-saving knowledge. Let's move on to the next critical step. Protecting your heart by staying physically still. Once you've called for help and taken aspirin, you must stop moving. Seriously, whatever you're doing, stop. Sit or lie down in the safest, calmest spot you can reach without overexerting yourself. Your goal now is to reduce the workload on your heart. That means zero unnecessary movement. No walking around the house, no unlocking doors, no just one more thing before I rest. Every bit of physical effort increases the strain on your heart. And during a heart attack, your heart is already fighting to stay alive. Even basic movements like walking from one room to another can worsen the damage or trigger a total collapse. So what's the right position? Ideally, sit upright with your back supported against something solid, a wall, a sturdy chair, or a headboard, and your feet flat on the ground. Keep your arms relaxed at your sides or in your lap. Don't cross your legs. Don't hunch over. This upright posture helps keep blood flowing effectively without making your heart work over time. If you start to feel lightheaded or faint, which is common during a heart event, it's okay to lie down, but do so on your left side with your head elevated. Use a pillow or rolled-up towel. This helps maintain blood circulation and can reduce the chance of choking if nausea sets in or consciousness fades. Avoid lying flat on your back unless paramedics advise it. For many people, that position can make breathing more difficult or trigger further distress. Now, here's something you may not expect. It's normal to feel awkward, guilty, or even dramatic in this moment. You might worry that you're overreacting or that sitting still makes you lazy in an emergency. That mindset can be dangerous. When it comes to heart attacks, doing nothing is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your stillness is a strategic move. It slows your heart rate, reduces your oxygen demand, and gives your body a fighting chance to maintain stability. Alice, an 81-year-old grandmother, learned this firsthand. One morning while making breakfast, she felt an intense weight press across her chest. Sweat began to bead on her forehead. Her instinct, finish cooking, clean up, pull herself together. But she remembered her cardiologist's warning. If it feels like your heart, stop everything. Sit, breathe, wait. She dropped everything, sat in her recliner, and focused on staying calm. That stillness likely kept her from collapsing or making her condition worse before help arrived. To make this easier in a crisis, think ahead. Identify places in your home where you can sit or lie down quickly. Keep those areas free of clutter. Put a soft pillow nearby. Preparation is peace. And when seconds count, you'll be glad you thought ahead. Ready for the next step? Let me know by commenting 3 if this advice is making a difference for you. Your interaction helps this video reach more people who might one day need it. And now, let's move forward to the next move that can quite literally extend your life when your heart is under attack. If you happen to be in a public space when symptoms hit, finding a stable spot to rest becomes your next mission. Look for a bench, a sturdy wall to lean against, or even sit directly on the ground if necessary. What matters most is minimizing movement and conserving energy. Avoid flimsy chairs or stools without back support, as slouching forward can compress your chest and make breathing harder. The goal is to keep your posture upright or at least semi-upright, which helps open your airways and reduces the strain on your heart and lungs. If you're surrounded by others, don't hesitate to speak up. Ask for help getting into a safe position. Let them know you may be having a heart attack so they can remain calm and support you. A reassuring voice in those first minutes can do more than soothe nerves. It can help you stay focused, conscious, and emotionally grounded when panic wants to take over. Remember this, staying still isn't doing nothing. It's doing everything. Sitting or lying down properly while waiting for help is a form of active protection. Combined with calling emergency services and chewing aspirin, you're forming a triad of life-saving moves that could determine how quickly you recover or whether you recover at all. Now, let's add one more critical action to the list. Making sure emergency responders can reach you without obstacles. It may seem simple, even trivial, but unlocking your door could make a life or death difference. If you've already called 911 and are physically capable of moving, even just a little, take a moment to unlock the door to your home, apartment, or building. Those few seconds could shave valuable minutes off emergency response time. Why is that so important? Because paramedics will get to you no matter what. But if your door is locked, they may need to force their way in. That means delays. That means tools. That means time you simply might not have. And if you're sitting or lying nearby, the chaos of a door being broken down could startle or injure you further. By unlocking the door in advance, you eliminate that problem entirely. When the emergency crew arrives, they can enter immediately and begin treatment without barriers. That's more time for oxygen, more time for medication, and less time your heart spends under siege. If you live alone, especially in a building with keypads, buzzers, or security gates, plan ahead. Ask yourself, can I easily unlock the door under pressure? Do I need a key or is it a latch I can flip quickly? Is my home easy to locate from the street? Is the unit number clearly visible? If the answer to any of these is no, now is the time to fix that. Some people choose to give a spare key to a trusted neighbor. Others invest in a lockbox that stores a key behind a coded door with that code shared with emergency services. Medical lockboxes are especially helpful for seniors, people with mobility issues, or anyone living alone. They're inexpensive, discreet, and can literally be the reason help arrives faster. Let me share Paul's story. He's a 76-year-old retired postman living in a small condo. When he felt pressure tightening around his chest one afternoon, he didn't panic. He recognized the symptoms, called emergency services, chewed an aspirin, and made one more smart move. He unlocked his front door. That took less than half a minute. But when EMTs arrived, They were able to walk right in and begin treatment. Later, one of the paramedics told him that those extra 30 seconds might have been the margin that saved his life. Of course, your safety is always the top priority. If you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or too weak to stand, stay where you are. Communicate your exact location clearly to the dispatcher. If you're in a house, say what room you're in. If you're in an apartment, give the floor, unit number, and any entry codes. Only go to the door if you are confident you won't collapse or worsen your condition in the process. And for those who want to go the extra mile, consider upgrading to a smart lock. These can be opened remotely from your phone or set up to grant emergency access to paramedics using a temporary code. It's a small investment for peace of mind, especially if you live alone or travel often. So, let's make this practical. Ask yourself tonight, can emergency responders get to me quickly if something goes wrong? If the answer isn't an immediate yes, take steps now to change that. Don't wait for a scare to realize your door is the final barrier between you and life-saving care. Still watching and learning? Type the number 3 in the comments to let me know you're still here and soaking up every step. Your engagement helps push this video to others who may desperately need this info someday. Let's keep going. Your smartphone isn't just for selfies or checking the weather. It can become your most important tool in a medical emergency. Knowing how to use it properly could mean faster care, better communication, and potentially saving your life if your condition suddenly worsens. 2 features matter most: the speakerphone and the medical ID. Let's start with the speakerphone. The moment you call for help, put your phone on speaker. Holding a phone up to your ear requires muscle tension, arm strength, and coordination, things you may not have full control over if you're in pain, short of breath, or dizzy. Speakerphone gives you the ability to talk hands-free while keeping yourself still and conserving energy. It also allows you to lie down, sit comfortably, or support your body as needed without sacrificing communication. Another benefit: if your condition declines during the call and you can no longer speak clearly, the dispatcher will still be able to hear background sounds, your breathing, movement, or even silence. That information helps them assess your condition in real time and can guide how they instruct the arriving medical team. Now, let's talk about the medical ID feature. This is one of the most underused but powerful tools available on modern smartphones. Whether you're using an iPhone or Android, there's a way to input critical medical details, conditions, allergies, medications, emergency contacts right into your lock screen. That means even if you're unconscious, responders can access that information without needing a password. You can set this up in under 5 minutes, and it could save hours of guesswork during a crisis. If you have heart disease, asthma, diabetes, or take medications like blood thinners, put it in there. If you're allergic to certain drugs, or have a pacemaker, document it. This info can guide emergency treatment and even prevent dangerous errors. Take a moment after this video to activate your medical ID and test the emergency access features. It's simple, free, and potentially life-saving. Remember, in a crisis, your smartphone isn't a distraction. It's a command center. Use it wisely. If you're still with me and this video is opening your eyes to steps you hadn't considered, drop a 4 in the comments. This conversation could be the wake-up call someone else needs to be ready too. When you're on speakerphone during a crisis, something powerful happens. Your voice isn't the only thing speaking. The dispatcher is trained to pick up on every sound: your breath, the tone of your voice, even the silence, a change in your breathing rhythm, a pause that lingers too long, or the absence of movement. They can all send critical signals. Those subtle cues alert dispatchers to how urgent the situation is, allowing them to prepare first responders with real-time context before they even reach your door. And the beauty of speaker mode, you don't need to hold the phone or waste energy keeping it to your ear. You can simply focus on breathing, staying calm, and following instructions as clearly as possible. The dispatcher stays with you, guiding you through every second, offering instructions, comfort, and frankly, company. That voice, on the other hand, may be the anchor you need in one of the scariest moments of your life. But let's not stop there. One of the most underrated features on your phone, often overlooked, is your medical ID. Built into both iPhones and Androids, this tool is designed to speak for you when you can't. It's quick to set up, but in an emergency, it can be absolutely life-saving. On iPhones, your medical ID is tied to the Health app and can be accessed straight from the lock screen through the Emergency SOS feature. On Androids, it's available in the Emergency Information section under Settings. And what kind of information can you store? Everything that matters. Your name, date of birth, blood type, any allergies like penicillin or latex, current medications, existing health conditions, and even emergency contacts who need to be called if something goes wrong. Now, imagine you've blacked out before paramedics arrive. You can't speak. You can't answer questions. But your phone can. With just a few taps, first responders can access the vital facts they need to treat you safely and correctly. Take Susan, a 79-year-old woman managing diabetes and a life-threatening penicillin allergy. She felt a sudden pressure in her chest one evening and made the 911 call, but lost consciousness before paramedics got there. Thankfully, she had previously set up her medical ID with no need for a passcode. EMTs checked her phone and instantly knew what they were dealing with. They avoided penicillin-based treatments and contacted her daughter, whose number was listed under emergency contacts. That small action done days earlier may have saved Susan's life. Her words after recovery say it all. "I never imagined something I set up once and forgot about could be the reason I'm still here." Setting this up takes less than 5 minutes. Open your health or emergency settings. Fill out every field you can, especially your meds, allergies, and who to call. Enable access from the lock screen, and you're done. Whether you're tech-savvy or not, this isn't about technology. It's about giving first responders a head start when every moment matters. Together, your speakerphone and your medical ID turn your phone into more than just a device. It becomes your lifeline, your advocate, your voice. Still with me? If you've made it this far and picked up something valuable, drop a 4 in the comments. Let's finish this strong. Now we arrive at step 7. And while it might sound simple, it holds extraordinary power. Your breath. In the middle of a heart attack, everything feels like it's spinning out of control. Pain clamps down on your chest. Your heart races. Fear kicks in like a tidal wave. It's the kind of panic that can make anyone feel powerless. But there's one thing you can control in that storm. Your breathing. No, breathing won't cure a heart attack, but it can be the difference between staying conscious and spiraling into shock. Panic triggers adrenaline, which speeds up your heart rate, raises your blood pressure, and can even make irregular rhythms more dangerous. By taking charge of your breathing, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's built-in calm switch. This helps you stay grounded and slows down that runaway stress response. So, how do you breathe when everything hurts? Here's a simple method. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Let your chest expand gently. Hold that breath for 1 or 2 seconds. Just a brief pause. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. As you breathe out, imagine releasing fear, tension, and chaos. Then repeat the cycle. Focus entirely on the rhythm. This technique, often called box breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, isn't about taking huge breaths. It's about calm, steady, intentional ones. It's not just a way to stay calm. It gives your brain something to focus on besides pain or panic. Frank, an 83-year-old retired carpenter, experienced this firsthand. One morning, chest pain hit him hard, followed by a wave of nausea and the sensation that he couldn't catch his breath. Terror set in, but then he remembered a simple breathing drill his cardiologist had taught him. He sat still, planted his feet, and started counting his breaths. 4 in, 6 out, over and over. It didn't stop the attack, but it kept him calm, conscious, and stable until the paramedics arrived. Later, his doctor told him that keeping his body from going into full panic mode may have spared him from cardiac arrest. Frank's takeaway: I just kept telling myself, breathe, stay calm, don't give in to fear. That was my lifeline. Don't wait until you're in a crisis to learn this skill. Make controlled breathing a part of your daily routine. Practice while lying in bed, sitting on your porch, or during stressful moments. The more comfortable you are with the rhythm, the more naturally you'll turn to it in an emergency. Breathing won't undo blocked arteries, but it will keep oxygen circulating. It will slow your heart's workload, and maybe most importantly, it gives you back a sense of control when everything else feels out of your hands. So when the chaos hits, call for help, chew the aspirin, stay still, unlock your door, use your phone smartly, and breathe. In those first critical minutes, these 7 actions can make the difference between life and loss. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which step surprised you the most? What's one thing you'll do differently after watching this video? Drop your answer in the comments. Your story might just help someone else prepare too. And if this video helped you, give it a like. Share it with someone you care about. And if you want more life-saving tips delivered in a way that's simple and powerful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay aware, stay ready, and above all, stay alive. We'll see you in the next one.